thought I'd made my last video on this grinder, but actually I decided it needed a little more doing. Now if I knock the tripod it's because my hands are in between it, but it's a well-made grinder, much better made than I initially thought when I looked at it. Let's just cover the bits we've got. We've got the motor here, which is sort of a mix of metal and plastic. We've got the grind chamber here and the handle here. One of the things, if you're travelling and you want to store it in a small space, I found that the grind cup fits in the motor or fits over there. So the grinder can actually be quite compact for storage. When you've seen it, you'll have seen it fully assembled like this, which obviously makes it look, and is quite big, and it's a substantial weight. But because it can be broken down in a number of ways, and that'll fit, there are a number of options for storage. So if I was traveling, I might store it like that in the luggage. May not take this. If I was just using the hand grinder, I could even store it in a very small space like that. I don't know how long this unit holds, how much coffee it will grind, because I haven't had it long enough to try. I am going to try and find out. One of the other things is that I found out this ring removes. I didn't realise, my eyes didn't see that gap. So what I'm going to do is just check how many notches I've got it so I can get back to this setting, because it's about right now. And then we're going to take it apart. Okay, so it's 29 notches is my preferred setting for filter. So to undo it, we basically turn this part here, holding the handle still. And what will happen, it will completely undo. And it's best to take a note of the orientation of the bearings. So that comes out. That's the burr and the plate at the bottom of the burr. So that sits on this plate here. That's the bottom, and that's the notches that form the adjustment notches. And then the handle comes off, and you've got the spindle comes out with its bearings, the spring, which is on the end of the other spindle, and there's a bearing in there, which should fall out. If it doesn't matter. Now next, this piece unscrews so you can get this burr off. It was tight, so you didn't want to see me struggling with it, but it unscrews like this. What a fine thread. This gives you access to the burr, which you can then remove. This ring is off. This housing just slides out. It's a very close fit. There's a locator there. Once that is out, you've got full access to the chamber. Here's the burrs, and you undo one screw there. It's just a slot head screw, and the whole burr comes out. Now, I have absolutely no idea who makes these burrs. One of the important things is my burrs are coated or hardened, but the actual grinder, I believe, is going to come with coated steel burrs, titanium, TIAN or TIN, titanium trinitride coating, which will be gold coloured, so they'll be hardened. But when I look at these burrs, I've got my glasses on now, you know, they're pretty decent burrs, they're okay. I just have no idea who makes them. But as I say, I've seen pictures and been told by Bella Barista that they're going to come with coated burrs, gold coloured. So they're going to be even harder. But like I say, you're not going to wear out a hand grinder burr. But yeah, they're reasonable quality, and it does produce a good grind. And I'm going to pause the video in a minute and show you the grind of the coffee I made this morning, where I got a level of coarseness that I prefer. So to put it back together, it's fairly simple. Well, there's one bit that's tricky. So we get this located, that goes in, then The base goes on like that, tighten it up, the spindle goes through. Now if that bearing fell out, you just push that back in, but we're going to put the spindle in. Top bearing located there, you see the bottom bearing has come up. We'll push that down. That just goes down into its place where it sits. The spring goes on, and then the burr goes on like that. Now this is the only bit I found tricky. We'll put the handle on now. Okay, we'll get that handle on and just resting on the desk. The bit I found a little bit tricky is this is keyed, as you can see. It's got two flats on it, so you'll get this piece on here like that, and it will sit, the pin will sit in the hole in the burr. And I just, because I've got, I don't have big fingers, but you've got to actually hold it down while you get this screw started. That's it. And once that's done, you just screw it up. There we go. Now apparently the actual final production ones are going to have much more finer notches. I think they're going to have twice as many, so you'll have much finer adjustment than this. Although I'll be honest, this was pretty fine. And I go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 28, 29, which is what I wrote on my pad. And that is now ready to go again. Put this grind cup back on. But this is actually a well thought out product. You know, I started using it and I realised that actually the quality of this is high. There's no movement in the bearings and the spindle. You know, there's no rocking. It's accurately, very accurately made, and actually it's a joy to use. And I think for the money, if the 99 quid is what Bella Barista managed to sell it for, and they're going to have a pouch and a brush and an air blower and stuff. I mean, obviously look on their website and check out what they're going to have. But if they're going to sell all this at £99 with a pouch, and they've got the one with the tin coated burrs, you know, the titanium coated, it's going to be a bargain. I'm going to pause this video. We're going to whiz downstairs and I'll show you the grounds, and you'll see at 29 why this is my sort of preferred one. And I'm actually drinking an Americano made from that particular grind right now. I will put an update in the description of this video to say how many grams you can grind before the battery runs. Something else I forgot to mention as well, so I am going to have to edit a video. It stops on its own when it's finished grinding. It's empty, and if you leave it running, it'll stop. So when it's finished grinding, it will actually stop on its own.